Are you thinking about buying a distressed property? Hi, I'm Simon Dippenaar and I'm an attorney with deep experience with property law. Sadly, the economic impact of COVID has meant that some homeowners have not been able to keep up bond repayments. When this happens and the house goes up for sale, it is known as a distressed property. Because the property needs to be sold quickly, there are often bargains to be found. It's never pleasant to profit from someone else's troubles, but the property needs to be sold and someone is going to buy it. If you're looking for distressed property to purchase, there are some things you need to know. A recent article by Justin Brown in the Business Insider spells out the pitfalls. Now, firstly, do your research. Most importantly, find out whether it is occupied. This is critical because if there are sitting tenants, you must evict the tenants. Not only is this unpleasant, but the eviction process can take up to a year. Apparently, only about 10% of repossessed properties are empty. Eviction can only start when you, the purchaser, have registered the distressed property in your name, and you must pay all monthly rates and taxes while waiting for the eviction to take place. Empty properties tend to sell for higher prices than occupied ones for all these reasons. Beware too that unhappy tenants may cause malicious damage to the property before they vacate. Secondly, find out the extent of arrear municipal rates and levies. If the owner was unable to pay the bond, they were very likely to default on their bills too. If the property is a bank repossessed home, the bank may have settled the arrear rates, levies and taxes on the property due until registration. I'll come on to the different types of property sales in a moment. Thirdly, inspect the property thoroughly. Property owners experiencing difficulty often fail to maintain their property, which then becomes your problem as the new buyer. Visit the property and if possible, ask to see inside. It's also a good idea to familiarize yourself with the neighborhood. When you see property advertised for sale, at auction or as a distressed sale, you may notice a variety of terms used. Let me explain them. There are three different stages where you can buy a distressed property. The homeowner may try to sell their property to avoid having the home repossessed. This is called a distress sale. However, with so many properties on the market at the moment, it may not be immediately obvious that this is the case, although the particularly attractive price may be a hint. A sale in execution property is when a borrower continues to default on their bond, the bank's lawyers applying to court for a judgment. Then the sheriff of the court auctions the borrower's movable assets. If the proceeds of the sale do not cover the mortgage arrears, the sheriff auctions the property. If the sheriff's auction does not meet the reserve price, the bank has the option to buy the property from the owner and the sale clears part or all of the arrears owed. The bank then puts the property in possession, back on the market, in the hopes of getting a better price. This is known as a bank repossessed property. There are various websites advertising repossessed properties, including those of the banks themselves. If you buy a repossessed property from a bank, you often don't pay transfer fees. This is not the case with the sheriff's auction, where the buyer has to pay all arrear rates, levies and taxes, and these amounts accumulate until registration. There are websites listed that list local sheriff's auctions. Be aware though that bank repossessed properties take 4 to 6 months to transfer compared to the usual time frame of 3 months. While it's important to do your research, experts say that sheriff auctions are often cancelled, so wait until the last minute to check things out to avoid wasting your time. If you see a house for sale by auction that you want to bid on, there are a few things you need to know before you start. Number one, before registering for an auction, make sure you have the necessary finance. Number two, before you can bid, you have to put down a registration fee of $25,000 or more, which is refundable if you don't wind up buying a property. Number three, to register for an auction, you need to provide the auction house or sheriff with your FICA documents. 4, if you buy a property at auction, you have to sign an offer to purchase straight away and put down a deposit of at least 10% of the value of your bid. The balance of the purchase price is due soon after that, often within 3 weeks. Number 5, you also need to pay a commission to the auction house or sheriff of the court, and this starts at 5% plus VAT. The link in my bio will take you to the original article for a full explanation. If you have questions about buying a distressed property, give me a call on 086 099 5146.